Welcome back to the Fighter Index. In this video, we compare and score UFC welterweights Geoff Neal and Uros Medic using the Fighter Index to see where they're strongest and where they're weakest and determine their paths of victory. Geoff Neal is one of the most dangerous counter-strikers in the welterweight division. Hands of Steel blends sharp boxing with real knockout power, punishing opponents the moment they overextend. He stays composed under pressure, throws clean combinations, and carries finishing ability into every round. With underrated toughness and the confidence to trade with anyone, Neal is at his best when the fight turns technical and violent. And that's when his precision really shines. Geoff Neal is a dangerous striker, but his game can stall when opponents don't give him clean boxing exchanges. When pressured by high-output fighters or strong wrestlers, his volume dips and he can become reactive instead of proactive. Defensive lapses in extended exchanges have cost him, and his takedown defense hasn't always held up against elite grapplers. Neal is at his best in controlled striking battles. Uros Medic is a dynamic, aggressive finisher who brings real intensity every time he steps into the cage. The Doctor thrives on forward pressure, sharp combinations, and sudden bursts of knockout power that can flip a fight instantly. He fights with confidence, hunts for finishes, and doesn't waste time playing it safe. When Medic finds his rhythm early, he's explosive, dangerous, and fully capable of ending a fight in spectacular fashion. Uros Medic is explosive, but his aggression can work against him. He tends to load up on big shots, which can leave defensive openings and drain his gas tank if the finish doesn't come early. When forced into extended grappling exchanges or deeper rounds, his composure and efficiency can slip. Medic is most dangerous in fast starts, but if opponents survive the early storm, his effectiveness can taper off. Geoff Neal holds the edge in experience with an overall record of 16-7, while Uros Medic comes in at 12-3. Inside the UFC, Neal has logged more high-level rounds at 8-5, compared to Medic's improving 6-3 run. Physically, Medic has a 2-inch height advantage at 6'1", but Neal keeps the reach advantage at 75 inches to Medic's 71 inches. Geoff Neal enters on a 1-fight skid, while Uros Medic rides a 2-fight win streak. Both men carry serious finishing power, with 10 knockouts and 2 submissions each, but Medic has been more explosive early, racking up 9 first-round finishes compared to Neal's 6. When it comes to the scorecards, Neal has gone to the judges 4 times, showing he can win over 3 rounds, while Medic has never needed them. Now it's time to break these fighters down using the Fighter Index scale. We break down each phase of the fight and score each attribute to better understand the strengths and weaknesses of a fighter's game. All Fighter Index scores are based on a scale of 1 to 10. Scores are subjective and can change as a fighter evolves from fight to fight. In Pillar 1, Fight IQ and Athletic Tools, Geoff Neal opens with the edge in Fight IQ, scoring a 6 compared to Uros Medic at 5. That slight gap reflects Neal's more measured decision-making when fights get chaotic. He's generally more composed when exchanges stretch past the initial burst. In athleticism, however, Medic flips the script, leading 8-7 with superior explosiveness, speed, and physical dynamism. When it comes to stamina, Neal regains the advantage 6-5, showing a slightly steadier engine across extended exchanges. And in resolve, Neal again holds the edge 7-6, meaning he's proven a bit more dependable when momentum swings or adversity hits. Taken together, this pillar favors Geoff Neal. Not because he overwhelms physically, but because across decision-making, endurance, and composure, he offers the more complete stress-tested foundation. In Pillar 2, Striking and Stand-Up Defense, it starts even. Geoff Neal and Uros Medic both score an 8 in striking, meaning each carries real finishing power and the ability to dictate exchanges on the feet. In the clinch, they're also level at 6, solid, but not dominant in close-range control. The separation comes defensively. In striking defense, Neal holds a slight edge 5-4, suggesting he's marginally more responsible in avoiding clean damage. And in chin, Neal again leads 7-6, showing a bit more proven durability under fire. Offensively, they're equally dangerous. But when you factor in survivability, this pillar leans toward Geoff Neal for having the slightly sturdier defensive foundation in what looks to be a striking battle. In Pillar 3, Grappling and Control, neither Geoff Neal nor Uros Medic builds their game around imposing grappling, but there are small edges. In wrestling, Neal scores a 5 to Medic's 4, giving him the slight advantage in initiating exchanges. In takedown offense, it's 4 to 3, again favoring Neal, though neither fighter consistently forces the fight to the mat. In top control, they're even at 4, meaning sustained positional dominance isn't a major weapon for either man. And in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, both score a 5, solid enough to function, but not a primary win condition. Overall, this pillar slightly favors Geoff Neal, but more because of marginal control advantages than true grappling dominance. In Pillar 4, Defense, Scrambles, and Ground Survival, the margins are tight. Geoff Neal and Uros Medic both score a 6 in takedown defense, meaning neither is easy to ground, but neither is shutdown level either. In BJJ defense, Neal holds a slight edge 6 to 5, suggesting he's a bit safer avoiding submissions in bad positions. Offensively from bottom, they're equal at 4 and off the back, indicating limited threat if stuck underneath. The separation comes in scrambles, where Medic leads 6 to 5, showing slightly better ability to create movement and transitions in chaotic grappling exchanges. Overall, this pillar is competitive, but it leans slightly toward Geoff Neal due to his small edge in defensive safety. Now we look at each fighter's path to victory based on what we learned from the 4 pillars. Geoff Neal wins this fight by turning it into a measured, damaging striking battle. His path is built on cleaner counters, sturdier defense, and forcing exchanges to extend past the early danger zone. If Neal keeps his composure, chips away with sharp boxing, and drags the fight into deeper waters, his durability and decision-making start to separate him. The longer it stays technical, the more the fight tilts in his favor. Uros Medic wins this fight by making it violent early. His clearest path is speed, explosiveness, and forcing exchanges before the tempo settles. If Medic pressures, throws in combinations, and capitalizes on openings in the first half of the fight, he can overwhelm Neal before the fight turns tactical. The more chaotic and fast-paced it becomes, the more it favors Medic's finishing instincts and raw athletic burst. When you total everything up, the fighter index score gives Geoff Neal a 5.7 compared to a 5.3 for Uros Medic. It's a narrow gap, not a blowout, but it reflects Neal's slight edges in composure, durability, and defensive reliability. Medic's explosiveness keeps him close, yet the numbers suggest Neal has the more stable, complete foundation across phases. On paper, it's competitive, but the index leans Neal. If you have a different score for a fighter, put it in the comments and defend your position. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more fighter breakdowns and fighter index scores.